Well, sweet Jesus, Joseph, and Mary, times are getting scary as my co-host has now disappeared off the face of the earth. Well, just like that, y'all, I'm now down to being a one-man rock band. So, with that being said,
Yep, we chose to have him go solo.
well, I guess I can't go solo yet. My Justin Timberlake career will have to be put on hold. But welcome again to another episode of the North Carolina Tar Heel Podcast. I am your host with the most, actually, probably not the most. I have the least amount of hair this side of the Mississippi. And I am the captain of the Hooligan Express himself, Tornado McCray, and one of the co-hosts on this channel. And right over there, that guy is my co-host. Introduce yourself, man.
Yo, what's good? What's happening? How you living? It's your boy Ricebox26 coming back at you again with another episode of North Carolina Tar Heels Live, where we tell you the shit that's going on with your Tar Heels and their everyday lives.
I tried
because we ain't doing exposés like that.
What you mean? What you mean? We literally did an expose on Bill Belichick for like the first month we were doing this.
I mean, but he the coach though, and he was new there.
I mean, but we were still doing an expose.
Expose, I wouldn't say so much.
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like exposés are longer.
What does determine an expose? Now I'm curious.
Indeed.
Now I'm curious.
I never took journalism, so I don't know fancy language like this.
I did. However, we didn't get into exposés, and it made me curious.
Like, I feel like exposés are probably like what you see for like 60 minutes.
You think so?
Yeah, I think like an expose would be like 60 minutes.
All right. So let's see. An expose is a movie or piece of writing that reveals the truth about a situation or a person, specifically involving shocking facts.
Anyway, remember, every Tuesday, 9 p.m., check us out right here, right now, like you're doing, so on and so forth.
Also, I'm sorry I wasn't entertaining enough just now.
But no, you're good. I was like, I didn't know what the thing was.
But let's get into it today, man.
No, we got a lot to get into today.
We got a lot to get into. Let's get into it.
First things first, let's go ahead and throw up condolences and prayers to Ole Miss and the Adams family.
Was that the young man that passed away this past weekend?
Yeah, because unfortunately, freshman defensive end Corey Adams has passed away due to a shooting in Tennessee. So he was a 3-star recruit out of New Orleans, earned all-state honors twice, and was only 18 years old. Also, he earned All-Metro Defensive Player of the Year. Real young. From what I saw in the story, the officers were responding to a shooting, and they came across him and a friend in a car where he was in the passenger seat. They called paramedics. They tried to get fire out there to try to help him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. So, luckily enough, there were 4 other people who were also shot, but luckily enough, none of them were reported to be in critical condition.
Okay, I was about to say, where's the lucky enough part on that?
Yeah, luckily enough, none of them were reported in critical condition. I haven't checked any updates on that story particularly, but at the time, I don't think anybody else was critically hurt. So, if nothing else, there is at least a little bit of a silver lining here.
Yeah, true.
Once again, like, hate that happened. Like I said, prayers up to Ole Miss, to his family, to his friends, to his community. Even the people that were even the people of Tennessee in the town that this happened in, prayers to them too, because I know whatever was going down, we all wish it didn't. So
I ain't gonna front, dog. I get so sad when I see stuff like this because it's always young men and in some rare instances young women too who get caught up in situations like this, and I always tend to want to think and believe like they weren't even involved in the situation, weren't even trying to be there. You know what I mean? And it's sad to see.
I definitely get that.
And it's sad to see young athletes go when they do have so much of their life ahead of him. I think death in general hits a little bit harder when you see people who are younger than you go or is the
Hmm.
same age, and you're just sitting there thinking to yourself like, "What? Why? How? Why do I get?" You start getting survivor's guilt, essentially. You know what I mean? You start to get a little bit of survivor's
Yeah,
guilt. You're like,
because you
"Why
get
are
a little bit of survivor's guilt. You get a little bit of you really. I feel like you get more generational disappointment than anything because it's like it makes you wonder a few things. Like one, what kind of group did they generally hang around? What like the other thing, like it sucks because you got an individual that's basically been cut down before they even really get to experience life for real,
Mhm.
and it's just like it's annoying because you're like you don't want that happening to them, but when stuff like this happens, you also don't really know what the best route. You don't know exactly which way to be upset fully, because like depending on the situation and depending on who they're with, what their history is with stuff. Sometimes you're upset with them for putting themselves in that situation. Other times you're wondering, okay, why these other individuals, these outside individuals, are putting innocent people in that situation. It just makes you wonder, like, why, like, what are you doing? Why are we
Yeah.
doing this? What is really happening here?
Especially if
So
it's a
it's
especially if it's a situation where he was innocent bystander, but the people he hung out with were quote unquote living that life and put
right.
him in that line of fire, especially knowing the blessing he's been given being like on the football team down at Ole Miss and everything and having the opportunity of a lifetime ahead of him to make it to one of his dreams of being in the professional football league. So
Mhm.
it's like if you're really man's friend, and I'm not saying this is the way the situation played out. I'm just saying if it played out this way, if it played out in this way, and we know the story kind of, and individuals he was hanging around with put him in harm's way or put him in a dangerous area to begin with, even if he grew up there, y'all not his friends. Y'all know he don't need to be around that no more.
Right.
So
Especially if you knew that you could have helped stop it.
yes,
I
absolutely.
but like I said, there's a whole since we weren't there, we don't know to do. There's a whole lot of questions that we won't get answered, and there's a lot of questions we're not going to ask because it's not our business.
Not
So
our business. And at the end of the day, the only ones who will know the truth will be them. And one of the
yeah,
individuals who will know the truth, unfortunately, is no longer here with us.
yeah. So I hope whoever is the cause of this or whoever the perpetrator is for that, I hope that the family gets justice for it. I really do. So
I'm with you on that.